All right, so welcome to or welcome back to the channel. And don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, and notification bell. Today we're going to be covering a channel that I really like. It's the Liberal Hive Mind. And yes, it's not usually too political over here, but today we're going to go over the lovely, chaotic bullcrap of what we call the election cycle. So let's get into it. Love y'all.
Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. Now, let's just say I wouldn't want to be a Democrat right now, and I certainly wouldn't want to be a white man for Harris right now, because it really just isn't looking so good. One by one, very influential leftists seem to be cracking under the pressure. I mean, we went from all-out hype to now, honestly, it feels as though the sky is falling, at least on their side. And really, I'm just sitting here, honestly, with a little bit of a grin on my face, a little bit of a smirk, thinking one thing and one thing alone. I told you so. We tried to warn you leftoids, but nobody wanted to listen, and now I guess the left is learning the hard way. That's the topic of this video. Just building on what we've been talking about here for the last couple of weeks, Kamala Harris is tanking like never before, one of the swiftest rises and one of the most disastrous declines. Let me show you guys exactly what's going on. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. All right, folks, so it's clear the panic is starting.
Because new polls are out and it doesn't look good for Kamala Harris. I have not been this worried in a long time. So we don't have a lot of time left. We have less than a month left, and she's now losing in almost all the swing states. Look, I'm telling you this, not again to ha-ha or whatever. I'm telling you because the pundits are almost always wrong. They never come back and tell you, oh yeah, we got it wrong, etc. They don't tell you oftentimes ahead of time. They do Monday morning quarterback. They've, all those different things that they do wrong. The reason I tell you guys stuff ahead of time is so you can see whether I'm right or not. So you can see whether you should trust our analysis of what is reality, not what we want, but what is reality. So that's why in that context, let me tell you, 4 days ago, this weekend on October 5th, I wrote, I think Trump is going to retake the lead. Kamala started playing prevent defense with too small a lead. By having her surrogates tell everyone how pro-business she is, she accidentally gave up the mantle of the change candidate. That's what's going to decide this.
I'm getting flashbacks to 2016, except it's happening before the election rather than after. When Cenk Uygur starts to throw hissy fits, when he starts to get redder and redder, let's call it the Cenk tomato scale, well, the redder it gets, the worse off Democrats probably are from an electoral perspective. And boy, is that coming into clear perspective here. Over the last couple of months, of course, we've been doing a lot of polling analysis, and I've pretty much been in the habit of disregarding a whole lot of pollsters. A lot of blue anon shells on social media have been posting NBC News polls for a while here. Ooh, Kamala Harris is up big time. And every single time I'll read the comments section and I'll see a lot of people panicking, but it hasn't affected my emotions for a second. NBC poll. These NBC polls are a joke. Just delve into the crosstabs and instantly the jig is up. Well, you probably get where I'm going with this. Polls that in the last couple of months I was completely disregarding and not even entering into my analysis, I guess have now become the forefront of our analysis because even the left-wing garbage push polls are shifting so hard in Donald Trump's favor. Folks, you can just sense the panic.
The big headline, this is a national head-to-head poll, is that Vice President Kamala Harris had a 5-point lead in our last poll taken a month ago, right after the debate. That lead has all but evaporated, Willie. Take a look at this new head-to-head matchup. 48% to 48%. That is what we call a deadlocked race. It underscores what we all know, that this is tight, that the country is sharply divided. One of the other big headlines here, people are viewing the Trump presidency more favorably than the Biden presidency. Why is that significant? We've seen the vice president get pressed repeatedly on what she would do differently than President Biden, and she's really struggled with that answer.
Holy frickin' moly. Honestly, I think this moment was probably what sealed the deal.
Well, if anything, would you have done something differently than President Biden during the past 4 years?
There is not a thing that comes to mind in terms of, and I've been a part of most of the decisions that have had impact.
Kamala Harris was supposed to represent change, but she sat there and said she didn't regret anything and wouldn't do any of it differently. That is patently insane. I mean, even if Joe Biden was a great president and the last 4 years were stellar, there's got to be something, right? Something that you might have done wrong or that you think you could have done slightly better. But she responded with, "We're essentially perfect." A complete slap in the face to the American people, especially considering the circumstance. I mean, even the NBC poll itself asked the question, what presidency do you view more favorably? And overwhelmingly, the respondents responded that the Donald Trump presidency was better than Biden's. So understanding that as a baseline premise of this election and then to respond in the frankly ignorant way that Kamala Harris did, I mean, I honestly think it might have sealed the deal. This NBC poll in such a short period of time went from Kamala +5 to now an even-tied race. That's insane, especially considering back in 2020, this same NBC poll was showing Joe Biden leading by 14 points at this time last year, or last election cycle rather, from +14 for the Democrats to now a statistical tie in the national survey. I don't know, folks. I think it might finally be happening. Although honestly, I'm not sure if anything really changed, at least not that much. I know the media has been running with this premise that Kamala Harris was in the driver's seat for a while there, but I never bought it. Like I keep saying in these videos, I was following what Rasmussen was saying, I was following what Trafalgar was saying, and pretty much blocking out the rest of the noise. And the reason I was doing that is because most of the time, I look at these polls, I click them, I don't just read the headline, I delve into the actual data, and I found the demographic breakdown in a lot of these polls simply has been unscientific, not keeping up with the current trends. You know, maybe back in 2008 and 2012, it makes sense to oversample Democrats by 7 or 8 points. Nowadays, however, it doesn't. But a lot of these pollsters are still doing exactly that, oversampling Democrats, even though this is the reality. Again, you can sense the panic.
All right, so party ID nationally. You go to October, November of 2016, Democrats had a 3-point advantage. You go 4 years ago, Democrats had a 6-point advantage. Look at where we are today, Manu. Republicans with a 1-point advantage. A very different picture, very much mirroring what we see in the party registration numbers in those key battleground states and Pennsylvania in particular.
It actually just shows you, too, why Harris is doing what she's trying to do. She's trying to moderate a little bit on these issues, trying to reach those very voters because the party registration is changing and the demographics of the voters are changing. And those are the people she needs to attract.
Absolutely. And you know, the GOP leads by a point in party identification right now. The average when the Republican Party loses is the Democrats ahead by 8. When the Republican Party wins, the average party ID advantage for Democrats is 3. Republicans right now, Manu, are doing even better than the average when they win. If there's one little nugget that I think Republicans are really hopeful for, it's this party ID and this party registration data. It really points in a good direction for them and for Donald Trump.
Wow.
Even CNN's top polling analyst is now straight up saying that this situation clearly favors Donald Trump. And actually, it's even worse than what was presented there. If we're looking at the most recent Gallup poll, I think if I'm not mistaken, when it comes to self-party identification, it's not R+1, it's R+3. Here's a collection of the data that I found online from Evan Fisher. You know, I'm really starting to believe that prediction from Rasmussen that Trump might win the popular vote. I think a couple things are clear here. Kamala Harris's campaign is in freefall, and the Democrats are desperate and panicking. I mean, they've truly got nothing. It's honestly become a sad state of affairs. They don't even mention January 6th anymore. You know, their favorite toy, they don't play with their favorite toy anymore. These poor little babies, and here they are, desperately grasping for anything. To Donald Trump is old, hosting Democrats on their show suggesting that Donald Trump is in cognitive decline, and he doesn't even know who he's running against.
Well, you know what I was thinking about listening to it, is he was using the same terms to attack you that he also used to attack a popular Republican governor in Georgia. I mean, he called Brian Kemp also weak and ineffective. And it's just, you know, it wasn't even just to you. You're a Democrat, obviously, and you've criticized him. But he's also said the same thing about governors in his own party.
Yeah, look, I don't know if it's, you know, some say it's cognitive decline, whatever it is. But yeah, he just, you know, but the more he's distracted in attacking people like Governor Kemp or me, whether they're Republican or Democrat, maybe he's forgotten who he's running against. And, you know, and I think that's great because I support Kamala Harris and think she'll be a great president. So,
I mean, really, give me a freaking break. We got Kristen Welker also from NBC News suggesting that Donald Trump should release his cholesterol levels.
Speaker, that's what people are going to vote on. Just to be very clear, he hasn't released all of his medical records. He released 2 letters. Should he release the results of the cognitive test?
It's unnecessary. He's on display every minute.
So it's unnecessary. You can see that he didn't release his medical records. You don't want to know things like his cholesterol level, whether he's dealing with any issue that we may not know about, if he's going to be commander-in-chief. And he also said he would release cognitive tests.
Listen to your question.
Meanwhile, the Kamala campaign is parading around her latest doctor's report. Oh, she's in good health, vote for her. But obviously it isn't going to work. Donald Trump is not Joe Biden. He's fine. You know, barring some freak accident or something crazy happening, knock on wood 3 times, the man is fine. He's in great health and in great spirits. People are looking at policy and leadership qualities and not age in this election. Age isn't even really a factor in the conversation. But it's just more proof of the decline. It's more proof of the panic, the desperation. They've truly got nothing. And so this is what they're resorting to. I don't know. It's looking like we might be playing that song Never Come Down once again here in November 2024. But that doesn't mean to put your guard down. It doesn't mean to stop. This thing probably isn't going to be over till a week after Election Day. So get ready for the chaos. It's time to get to work, and I guess we'll have to see what happens. But it's certainly looking good. And I think that's pretty much undeniable at this point.
All right, so that's what we got today. And that's a great breakdown. Give a shout out to the liberal hive mind. And, don't forget, it's important. Get out there and vote. We can't let the system take over and ruin our lives. If you like this video, please go down there, hit that like, subscribe, and don't forget the notification bell for all the insane craziness. And that's all we have for today, folks.